Welcome back to the Profit Punch channel. Today I bring to you one of the strongest industries in the stock market right now. I see a huge chance for both long-term investors and swing trade investors in this particular sector. There's one rule that is very important that every investor should stick in their heads for good. And that rule is industry strength and leadership. You always want to be picking stocks from the strongest industries because 80% of the past stock market winners were found to be in the strongest industry. For example, an industry like that could be semiconductor stocks currently because of the AI boom. Semiconductor companies are leading the stock market. Then the second thing is 80% of stocks will follow their sector. So that means that if a stock is in a good sector, even if it's a bad stock and it's not making profit, it is likely to go up. To your surprise, you'll find a very good stock in a very bad industry is going to fail. So you always want to be picking a strong industry so that you can get the best odds. You want to be picking the strongest stocks in that industry because it was found that the leading stock vastly outperforms the second stock, vastly outperforms the third stock. So if you've already found the best sector, then you want to be in the leading stock because you're most likely to get the best gains. Today's video, I bring you the lithium sector. So lithium is showing a very strong reversal. Reversal is when a stock has reached a bottom, it has broken its major trend line and looks like it's about to start going up. So we're going to be looking at the long-term chart because this is a major reversal. So this is a move that can take about 1 to 3 years. A lot of opportunities from here. If you're enjoying this video and want to build financial freedom using the stock market, I put together a free guide called 10 chart patterns that make money. It's based on the exact system that we use at Profit Punch, a financial newsletter and educational hub that sends you A+ stock setups where we tell you exactly when to buy and sell, and also will teach you stock trading from the ground up. These are the same patterns that our members use to catch moves like SMCI 250%, NVDA 200%, Uplavin 350%. The guide is short, visual, and beginner friendly. Just click the link in the description or pinned comment to grab your free copy. Now back to the video. So since lithium is a sector, in today's video, we're going to be looking at the leading stocks in the lithium sector. And I'll start with SGML. SGML is my favorite stock in this sector. The problem right now is that SGML is the lagging stock. It has the worst performance out of all the lithium stocks chosen, but it had the best performance in previous years. Here, when we go to the weekly chart, each bar represents 1 week. You can see that we see a very nice cup and a handle here, or you can call it a base on base, whatever you'd like to call this. And then we see this very tight weekly action. And then from this breakout level over here, from $2.15, lithium went up 1,800%. If you put in $10,000, you got $200,000 because your account went up times 20. That's how profitable these moves can be. Currently, we can see that lithium has broken the long-term downtrend. So this is something you always want to look for on long-term charts. So it has broken this long-term downtrend. A trend line is only trustworthy if it touches at least 3 points, which we can see, and this lithium stock has broken above that. But what's also very interesting is that it has broken above that on volume. A lot of people are participating in this major lithium run in this particular stock. So a lot of buying has been done here. The move has just begun. It's almost equivalent of buying it at $1.40 back then. You would have had a much bigger return of almost 3,000%. So if you put in 10,000, then you would get almost $40,000. Now, I'm not saying that is going to happen again, but such moves are the bread and butter. Like the risk to reward ratio is in the investor's favor. When we look at the relative strength indicator, we can see that it is now green, which means that the faster moving average is above the slower moving average. That's also a very good signal, and it is bouncing off the moving average and has gone up. The next stock is Lithium Americas Corp. So this one also, if we look back in the history, Lithium American Corp did 800% in the 2020 lithium boom. Now, of course, this is not as good as SGML. That's why I preferred SGML, but 800% is still a very huge gain. You put in 10,000, you got about 800,000 because your money went up almost times 8.5. So it is still a very good profit, nothing to scoff at. We see the same thing. A long-term trend line on the weekly chart has been broken, breaks out in very big volume. That is a very good sign. We see a very famous reversal pattern. This resistance over here It was a support before, but then it turned into a resistance, and then it broke through. It broke through that horizontal resistance, and now it is testing it on lower volume. This is also a very good sign. Next up is SLI. So SLI went up 2,000% in the previous lithium boom, which was from 2000 to 2022. So you can see that all of these lithium stocks had a very huge run up back then. So that proves that stocks move in industries. They didn't just move alone. If I'm to put the charts close together, you'll see that even the weeks in which they were going up are likely to be similar. This is something very interesting in the market. So in 2020, we see a breakout here, right? And then it comes back and tests the moving averages. From that level, it goes up about 20 times. If you put in $10,000, you got $200,000. It's a very nice profit. Now, we're seeing the same thing here. The long-term trend line has been broken, same thing as here. And then now we've had this reversal pattern. This resistance has been broken through. And this one has run up quite a bit. So it is one of the leading stocks. SLI is one of the leading stocks in this industry because it has gone way before the others. But just because the stock begins its move way before the others doesn't mean it will make the biggest gains. But most times it does make the biggest gain. I found that the stock which moves first normally actually makes very huge gains, but I have not done enough studying to prove that fact. So we see a big breakout, and then we see it coming to correct on lower volume. Let's wait and see what's going to happen. But for a long-term investor, these pullbacks are when you can add to your position. So it will almost be equivalent of buying here at 80 cents back in 2022. And then from there, your money went up. If you put in $10,000, you got $100,000. That was very sweet money. Of course, if you're in the SGML, you got times 20. So 10,000 went to 200,000. So you can just go buy a house. Now, I don't like this one a lot because it is an Argentinian company that is listed on the USA stock market. So I'm more a skeptic of companies that are not in the USA because the rules on them might be more relaxed. But I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, this one went up at least about 800%. So that means your money went up times 9. If you had $10,000 invested in the stock, you would have gotten 90,000 by the end of the move. Of course, that's a maximum your account could have reached. I don't think anyone would have sold at the maximum top, but you get the gist. And then currently we see the trend line has been broken. We also see something like a reverse cup and a handle. We see it pulling back. And these are times for a long-term investor to keep building on their position. So maybe the first time it broke out here, we put $3,000, at $2.50. It pulls back $3. You add another $3,000, and then finally you add here $4. So your average price would be about $3, and then you just wait for it to make that huge move. Now, of course, the future is not guaranteed, but in case these stocks do move as we have seen they have done in the past, this is going to be a very good opportunity. If you found this video helpful, sign up for the Profit Punch newsletter. I always release this analysis in a newsletter, and it can help you make money. Thank you, and have a good week. May the markets be with you.